Before the game, he's just like all eyes on the prize, but afterwards, he's willing to share a bit more ideas usually.
Yeah, I think they also just know how good they are right now. I can kind of feel it every time one of their players talks to us, and you don't want to come off as unlikable, I guess, or not.
Hello.
But it is important to respect the teams that you play against. And while Parivision are looking like the strongest team this tournament, everyone's on their tails right now.
Everyone is on their tail, and Team Spirit will be on their tail very, very soon. Team Spirit only dropping one game in this group stage so far, only in the first series that they played, so they have also improved. And everybody always, regardless on how they do in a group stage, they respect Team Spirit because Team Spirit is considered a championship team. They step up when they need to. They also are your title defender.
Team Spirit, one of the undisputed best teams in the history of Dota, are back at the Esports World Cup to defend their championship title. Their run through the Esports World Cup 2025 really highlighted the dominance of Team Spirit and why you should never count them out. After finishing first in the group stage, they went on an undefeated run through the upper bracket, knocking out the best teams in the world without dropping a single game. The team has been through some changes since the Esports World Cup last year, and their current roster consists of Yutoro, Laurel, Collapse, Not Me, Rue, and with Maposhka returning as their new coach. While they've had a rocky few months, a constant of Team Spirit is that you can never underestimate them in extremely high-stakes events. Where other teams fall due to pressure, Team Spirit Esports World Cup 2026 will be a chance for Team Spirit to prove that this still holds true.
Never count them out, not in a game, not in a series, and not in a tournament, no matter how they perform throughout it. It's literally that respect that has been there. And if you're wondering, like, you know, what is it like for the players? Well, Collapse actually for EWC feels something very particular.
How are you feeling about your play right now? You've been a fantastic player since your breakout, obviously winning TI.
EWC တခြားလုံးကဒီတိုင်းပဲကြည့်ရမှာတိတာဘာမှမဟုတ်อ่ะမမြင်ရအောင်
I noticed
ဘာလဲဟို clean feed မရအောင် clean feed မရအောင်ဟိုဒီတိုင်းပဲ show อ่ะ
like on EWC tournaments, like from the first one maybe.
Do you feel it,
ကိုကြီးရတယ်
or
ဆေး
do
ကြ
you just feel the results?
I feel by the results, and also
ဒါပေမဲ့ဒီကောင်းလေးဒီနှစ်သိန်းอ่ะ
I feel just
first
like
ရ
in
မယ်
there, you know.
အဲကြည့်
I
လာ
feel some buff.
လက်ရှိอ่ะဒီနှစ်သိန်းอ่ะ first
I'm
loop
going
မလား
better.
မသိလောက်อ่ะအမှတ်တူတယ်လေ
Sometimes I can
ဒီ
like
နောက်ဆုံးနေတော့
solo,
group stage อ่ะ
just win games by solo and just
ပြီး
something
OG
like
နဲ့ OG ပွဲမကြည့် OG ပွဲမကြည့် one win ပွဲကြည့်
Some
one win ပွဲ
strange
ပို
feeling,
ကောင်း
I don't know.
Well, I'm
OG
happy. I'm
နဲ့
looking forward to
Virtus
seeing
Pro
it.
နဲ့
Thank
အဲ့လို
you
မ
so
ကောင်း
much for the interview and
one
good
win
luck
ပွဲ
in
က
the
ပို
matches.
ကောင်း
Thank you.
A
What's that?
buff
What's that?
that makes you feel like you can solo an entire game. I need me some of that, Effie. That sounds powerful.
That sounds awesome. I would like to win some pubs feeling like I could solo the whole thing. But there are so many games I can recall off the top of my head of Collapse like turning impossible situations. He's already had Aegis snatches in this tournament. Like there was one game where he snatched 2 Aegis.
အဲ့တော့လက်ရှိကတရေကြရင် Parivision က first ပေါ့ split ကနိုင်မရအောင်
There is something in the air
What about
for him
Oshi?
when it comes to EWC.
Yeah, I mean, some of these teams, like Parivision, for
Be
instance,
well
it's
when
like
they Yan
fundamentals,
Death
it almost
Network,
looks like
I
is how
work
they
on.
win, but other teams, Team Spirit being the most notable one, just have this like X factor where at any given moment a player can step up. I think it was really displayed at its prime when they won their first TI. Like there were just games where they were behind and Yato would just get a rampage out of nowhere. And the most important part about this for me is that it can be really anybody on their team, and that's something that we'll have to keep an eye out for today if Parivision lets their guard down.
Yeah, it's actually also very cool that even though since that TI there's been some roster changes, but they keep that vibe of always being able to close a game out, no matter if they're up against mega creeps, like we saw in the very first series where there was a mega creep comeback by them already. And we're looking very much forward to this upcoming series between Parivision and Team Spirit. And to get it properly started, we're heading over to the stage.
မင်္ဂလာပါဗျ
And here we are, friends. Welcome back to the Lenovo Legion Gauntlet.
APoTE
We're here with you. It's a
yeah.
hell of a day, and we are at the one that matters here in our
Slack out
groups,
tower.
the final day of it all.
Be
And
a
from this
bit.
moment on Slacks, it all gets super complicated in survival. So I wanted to get our emotions out of the way just for the beginning. Yesterday, I'm sorry I wasn't here with you. I'll tell you the story.
What happened?
I got dressed, I was ready to go. I went to the door and it was locked.
Oh,
and
no.
I heard cackling on the other side of it, like as they're running away in the hallway. I don't know if it was Suns fan or somebody else.
Okay.
But all I'll say is I just got stuck watching Dota in my room the entire day.
I'm so sorry.
But I missed you because I'm watching you on the stage. You're doing great as always.
Thank you.
And I have a warm heart and I wanted to draw something.
ညာတော့အဲ့ကောင်နေ Fate Fury လားဟိုလေပါလေလက်ဝိတ်ချတဲ့ game တွေတော်တော်မိုက်တယ်
For you, Slacks.
That's beautiful art.
ညာအဲ့ရ champion လားမသိဘူး
And Roshan
So,
behind us saying, great.
I'm really
Thumbs
going to
up.
treasure this forever. Thank you so much. That is so wonderful. I'm going to put that in my
Let's
nice
go
little
let's go
forever box right there. Thank you for that.
Thank
I loved
you.
it, Milos.
Well, we got games to go through. Survival and game. No, it's okay. It's okay.
I love
I'll
it.
deal with it.
No. Go ahead.
Today is about trying to make it out in escaping survival stage. And our first match between Pvision and Team Spirit, that is one for the age.
Oh, we got Pvision Team Spirit. I'm not
Hell yeah.
joking around anymore. All right, these are the best
Pvision
two teams
Pvision.
here, baby. I'm not going to say that in front of all the other teams. They haven't arrived yet, obviously.
No, budget it,
In this
budget it,
group,
separate.
It ain't no thing, all right? Everybody knew that Pvision
မနေ့ပြန်စပြီးတော့
You
ဒီ
know
ကောင်
what?
နေ
Forget it. I'm
ဟို
not
ကစ
gonna
တယ်
get
နော်
into a whole speech.
ဗာလဲ
You
ငါတို့
guys wanna see some
playoff
teams
က
I
14ရက်နေ့လားမသိ
So let's make some noise for our first team heading to the stage. It's Pvision! Pvision, baby. Everybody said this team is going to win. Top of all
Jukulis
the tier
Piao là.
lists, top of all of our hearts, and here they are again. They have not lost a single game at all. Nobody in the groups has that record. All right, these guys are invincible so far. They have
တကယ်ကလေး
no
ကြား
one
မှာ no one ဆရာကြီးဝင်လို့နေပဲ
zero, baby, and they're looking for that 9-0 here today.
ညီလေးနဲ့ကိုကြီးပွဲ
See
ဟု
if
တ်တယ်
that'll matter against their opponent, our EWC 2025 Dota 2 champions, Team Spirit. Yes, you heard it right, ladies and gentlemen. Our champions from last year are back. And they're at number 2 right now in their group with a
Yelena
singular
Koya.
game loss.
Koya
Had a rocky
team
end of
na.
2025,
Aro separate ko
but
na
recent
check.
resurgence. I'm gonna tell you.
Jaduru,
that
Jaduru,
combo
what
with
do now?
Boshka
Show,
back as coach, and then the unknown entity, not me.
What
I'm
do
gonna tell you
Piene,
that name is a
Jaduru?
lie because he is him, ladies and gentlemen, and he's on to show you what they've got. They do face their toughest opponent yet in the groups. So today is a big test for both.
Absolutely. Both these teams know each other so well. Both of them are
Shadow
always
Watto.
on the top of the brackets. And today, there can only be one winner to skip through survival and head to that top slot. So, please, let's get those keys in, if you would, please. Captains, get ready to shake hands. Now, let me tell you a little something about Dota. These two captains hate each other, all right? They're always on Telegram, talking smack. There we go. The handshake is made. Fantastic.
The handshake
We
is made.
shook. I got the jiggles right now.
ကိုလုံးဝလာ
I'm
ကြည့်
feeling it,
ဟိုကောင်နေလဲ
baby.
ဝ
All
လာ
right, guys,
ငါ
let's
လဲဝ
get
လာ
ready for one of the hypest games we've had so far as we pass it over to the panel.
။ဟောဒီနေ့ကတော့ပွဲပြန်ကြည့်ရပွဲမကြည့်ရတော့ကြာသွားပြီ
We got Pvision with an 8-0 record and Team Spirit with a 7-1 record. And for the people already doing the math, that means that if Team Spirit 2-0s this match, they are top of the group rather than
ဒီတစ်ခေါက်ကတော့
Pvision. So a
EWC
lot
တစ်
at
ခုလုံး
stake here
ကလစ်မ
because
ပေးရ
being
ငါ
able
တို့
to
တော်
skip
တော်
the
တိုက်
survival stages is a grand prize, let me tell you that. Of course, Pvision only needs to win one game in order to do so. We'll see how this goes for both of these teams, Effie. This is the toughest
Shadow
opponent
Roji.
they've had within this group. We always knew it was going to come down to this.
Yeah, for sure. But I can imagine Team Spirit feel like Pvision
စောမရ
is
မယ်
this big
ပွဲတွေက
wall to
ညဘက်ဆိုရင်
climb
မရှိ
right
တော့
now.
ငါ
Like,
ည
they're
ပြမလို့ဒီ
definitely
ပွဲ
the team to beat
ည
here.
ပွဲ
They're
ပြောင်း
a team
သွား
that everyone has on their radar.
Team
ပွဲတွေက
Spirit
the kind of team that could wake up one day and just be the best team in the world. You hear it
ပွဲတွေက
from
စိုးကြီးပဲ
players all the time.
ဒီကောင်း
I
နေ
heard
ပွဲ
it
တွေက
from
2
Seb
နာ
on
ရီ
his
ခွဲ
panel,
3 နာရီလောက်
Team
3နာရီ
Spirit
ခွဲလောက်
in
စ
top form. You can't win versus them. Good luck.
Yeah, I think going into the series,
Có thể
Parivision shows that
အိမ်ပြန်ရအောင်
they only need to win one game on the side of Parivision, and what I think is funny
Yeah,
about
yeah,
this
draft-
format
draft
with the
team
best of
can
two is
start
the
off.
reason that is because Team Spirit lost a game to Mouse on the first day of the tournament. So I think the difference between these two teams, Mira was talking about, is that Team Spirit, they're always leveling up throughout the course of the tournament. I always expect a team like Parivision, they usually show you their cards at the start of the tournament. Parivision looking top form if they're going to win the tournament.
တရေပဲကြမှာ
usually know
ပဲ
from
တ
day
ရေ
one.
ကြရင် separate လက်တက်တယ်
So today,
ဟိုကောင်ကြီး
it's
လက်
like,
တက်တယ်
I think this would have been a
Parivision လက်တက်
completely
တယ်
different match 5 days ago, and I think Team Spirit's got the best chance having it happen now.
So you're saying Team Spirit is happy that they have their toughest opponent at the end, whereas Parivision, they might have rather seen it the other way around.
I think you're going to get the
ဟုတ်တယ်နောက်က
exact
အိပ်
same
ရကြီးစိုးလိုက်တာ
Parivision
Yeah.
no matter when it was, and Team Spirit's going to have leveled up at this point. So I think
ရှေ့
for
ကို
Parivision,
ရိုက်သွား
obviously
တော့တ
they're
ည်း
not
ရှိနေ
thinking
လို့
about these kind of things like, oh, we
ဒီ
should
ကောင်
have
နေ2ရက်နာ
facing
3
them
ရက်
the
နာ
day
လေ
before, but
ဒီနေ့လည်းနားတယ်မနက်ဖြန်လည်းနား
I
တယ်
think this favors Team. It's giving Team Spirit the best chance, and I say that because even though Team Spirit's the defending champion, they're one of the most legendary teams of all time. Like, man, if you guys have
ရှုပ်
not
တဲ့
been
နေရာမ
watching
ကြ
this
ဘူး
tournament, like
ဒီကောင်နေ
Parivision,
နှစ်သိန်းတော့
they're
first
the one
second
team I've watched where not only are they executing, there's like lanes they're
အဓိ
winning
က
that they're not
first က
supposed to be winning, but then there's
playoff
also these
ကို
draft
တစ်ဆင့်
strategies
ပို့တက်တ
where
ယ်ထင်
just
တယ်
looking at it, I'm like, I know with my Dota knowledge that they're favored, but then I can't even explain why sometimes, and then you get into the game and there's like this 15-minute period where, or like 15 minutes in the game, it's an even
Oh,
game.
first year
and
I did,
suddenly
yeah,
it's
what?
8K because
Oh, I
they
saw
did
them
this
do.
timing, and they're so synchronized. Like
Playoff
they're a
down.
Coddle team, they're a Wisp
ပြီးအဆင့်
team.
3နဲ့
Like,
4
it's
နဲ့
just
အ
these
ဆင့်
heroes
2နဲ့
that's not
survival
individual
group ဆိုတာ
understanding.
ရှိတယ်
The whole
survival
team
group ဆော့
rallying around.
survival group မှာ
Well,
ဘ
that's
ဆော့
a bit of an update
3
for you,
ရေ
Brian.
ဒါပေမဲ့
Oh,
တစ်ခါ
let's
show
see,
ရင်
just
တန်း
face
ပြုတ်
avoid being picked, so you not on this.
9နဲ့3ရရောက် quarter final တန်း
We're
ရောက်
not even in a draft.
I was about to say,
on the
first pick faces.
အဆင့်1က quarter final ရောက်မှာကွာအဆင့်2ကကျတော့ survival ရဲ့ second round ဆော့3နဲ့4နဲ့ကျတော့ survival ရဲ့ပထမ round ဆော့
Our upcoming draft as well.
အဲ့တော့အရေးကြီးရပွဲတဲ့
I want to know what we should be looking out for, Effie, here. Is there any player in particular, any role in particular, any hero in particular that you feel like is key to winning this match?
Yeah, so I think for a lot of this tournament, the 2 and 4 flexes have kind of been king. And
Nigga, what Jenny?
obviously, we have the usual suspects like the ranged carries, the lone druids, the drow rangers. Are you solving them? Are you dressing them within the draft? But for
Oh, the
Parivision
draft
in
side.
particular, I think about the flexes between No One and 9 class. They have this Earth Spirit that they can play on 4 and 2 that looks fantastic. They have this Coddle that they can play on 4 and 2, and they've only played it on 4 this tournament.
ဒီကောင်နေဒီ
The
ပြန်ပွဲ
flex
draft
too
ကြီး
is
ကမ
always
လှ
there,
အောင်
and they
ဘယ်လိုကြီးလဲမသိ
tend to build their drafts around these.
Yeah, I'm actually curious if Team Spirit leaves IO in. Pretty much everybody's been banning it against 9 class. You know, we talked about a story of the tournament has been 9 class not playing the Monkey Kings and the Slarks. He's still his own unique player. He picks heroes that it's not that nobody else is picking them. We know some teams are also picking IO, like GH for Enigma Galaxy, for instance. But they're heroes that are very particular playstyle.
ကဲတော့ဘာကောင်းနေပြတ်မှာ
Everyone on the team to kind of
တော့တဲ့
buy
ace တွေ
into the
position
game
4 တွေ
plan.
fight တွေ
IO
ကျွန်တော်
more
တွေ့နေ
like
ရတယ်တောက်လျှောက်ကြီး
map movements, Coddle about the macro play with the sustain from Illuminate and the team balling around that.
အဲ့တော့ drawing ကြ
And I
drawing ကြ
just
who
think
win
personally watching the Coddle, there's so many things you have to factor.
အဲ့တော့ Bipush ကပြန်လာပြီဟိုဘပပီနဲ့အဲ့တော့တဖြည်းဖြည်းနဲ့လူတွေပြန်ဆုံးလာပါဒီကောင်နေ
insane amount of sustain that you
အဲ့တော့
have to be
ace က
able to
တက်စီ
actually
ရ
do damage through.
low
You see them
drew
go like Coddle plus like a Largo, like one other sustain hero, and suddenly it just becomes very difficult. So I'm surprised. I'm not surprised per se that they left it in on the side of Team
ဘာ
Spirit,
ဆက်ထွက်
but
လာ
they kind of know what they're getting into. They've left both at IO and Coddle.
Yeah, we also see them
Normal
taking
Osprey.
quite a while to remove Druid from the pool, and as a first big team, that's a big decision. So makes sense.
Đó
They
thì tế đi
seem to
bây giờ
be
tế đi, lại đi.
preparing for a Shadow Fiend opening pick for themselves, or at least trying to bait Parivision into banning out the Shadow Fiend, who's now also taking some time. There is indeed the
Shadow Fiend ban.
So let's see which hero they'll go for as their opening
Shadow
pick.
Drew လဲဆော့လို့မရတော့ဘာဆော့ကြ
Shadow Fiend ban
ငါမြင်နေရတော့အကုန်လုံးက drawing ညာပဲကြိုင်နေကြ drawing ညာ specter တွေ
I think the only odd one out that might have given them pause, Effie, is the Hoodwink. We've seen Hoodwink a lot, so I don't think it's that surprising
ပြီးမင်းမှာဆိုရင်
to see her
stone
ban.
ရှိမယ်ကွာ
To see her first face
Son
ban,
of fire
maybe
sheep.
that's a little bit more surprising.
Yeah, I've
မနေ့က
noticed
ပွဲမကြည့်ရ
this
တော့
thing
ကြာတယ်
where
ခုလော
he'll
ဘောဝဲပဲကြည့်
make he'll kind of single
Bỏ
out
qua
a
chi lại,
player and
ít
think
lại.
that they have really
Tía tía.
strong heroes or one really strong hero, even if they're not necessarily in meta. For example,
Bane,
versus Mouse,
Bane
they spam all
Drew,
of
Bane
Chris
Drew
Lawson's
Drew
heroes.
biết luôn
So
mày
to
rồi.
me, this says
Drew
that
thì
he's
mày biết.
identified there
Bao
are players
bao
that
ai.
have less heroes to work with, and this is the threat that he sees from the
Rồi
team
nhị
stage
lấy
first
Terror
than
Blade là.
anything.
Đã một cô
Yeah,
ý Terror
we
Blade
have
là.
actually Tree and Protector.
Bỏ tôi Terror Blade cả tên luôn sợ.
They prioritized Bane over Triumph.
Con này quá.
I think it's because it trades really well with the likes of the Coddle.
Rồi bài sát thuật là mà sure mà.
I'm telling you, even though these heroes are not being picked or banned yet, they're
Cast.
being considered on every single.
Rồi cho lại mà cho về để vào lúc nào chỉ bịa này à đấy.
Parivision actually ends up going for the Kez.
Còn mà nên vào cho đồ đi.
Out of all the carries right now, because a lot of times against Bane, you want to pick a carry that has illusions or like multiple units of some kind so that you can wake yourself up from the nightmare. You can still do damage while you're Fiend's Grip. If you're going to pick Kez like this, I assume they're going to go for a save, whether it's, I think the most likely one is Ringmaster that we've been seeing against Bane. Is there any other reliable
No mà cho
cancel
Beam
or
Master
save
ban.
hero that you'd be prioritizing against the Bane?
I mean, there's things that are
Benny
less
or
popular, like
Negia.
the Shadow Demon and the Oracle that maybe we would see a team like Yandex or Liquid play, but I don't necessarily think we'll see.
Papi à Secret လို့ campaign မလုပ်ပဲ Secret မရှိတော့တယ်နဲ့ Secret ကကျွန်တော်ဒီ ownership ပြောင်းသွားပြီလားလို့ဆောက်ရည်ရှာအတင်းဖြစ်သွားပြီမြန်မာတော့မှအခုမြန်မာမှာတော့ Secret လာတော့မယ် mobile လေးကြမှာ Secret ကသူတို့ဝယ်ရတယ်လေဆောက်တော့ဝယ်ရတယ်ဒါမဲ့ MSN မှာ Secret ပါ
or maybe don't hope you figure it out, but Team Spirit, they usually cater to the exact team they're playing.
You know, I do find this Kez opening quite curious from Parivision
Parivision ငါလို့မလို့မရဘူး Secret က Secret က organization အဲ့လောက်မတောင်းတော့ဘူးတဲ့မြန်မာမှာတော့မှအခုဒါ mobile လင်းချက်မှာဆိုရင် main လေးတင်ရောယောက်ျားလေးတင်ရောဝယ်ရတယ်မလား Secret မြန်မာအသင်းဖြစ်နေပြီ
versus Reconnect the other day. So maybe there's some
Get all the
information going on.
don't
Team
even
Spirit
ban.
Because Parivision decided to pick it early, and they also think it's a great hero against Collapse's hero pool.
ဘာထွက်လာဘာထွက်လာ
I think Kez is like top of A tier for carries. I think S tier is literally Drow, Shadow Fiend, and Lone Druid, and I think they might be arguing like,
Okay, IO အဲ့တော့ Nicholas IO
carries are already banned out, so there's limited slim pickings left.
Nicholas IO
By
gone.
taking Kez, you're going to be stuck taking a ranged carry that I think most of the other ranged carries we saw TA for instance played against Kez. A lot of them struggle against the parry mechanic, the gap closing mechanic, the burst damage, and Kez with any sort of buffs. I mean, Kez without any buffs is pretty insane, but if you
Nicholas IO
overcharge, I wouldn't even mind if they end up going for something like Invoker. I think Team Spirit could even just take Invoker here because of the Bane Nightmare setup on side lanes.
Damn.
And you know, if they
Call
do
us
take
that.
the Invoker, that
Invoker,
opens up the
Invoker
Faceless
ရှိ
Void
သေးရဲ့
potential,
True.
which is an EWC Toro specialty.
And Faceless Void's quite good against Kez.
It
Because
is
one of the
quite
few
good
Shadow
heroes that can
Fight.
actually lock him down and take him out before he gets all of his free Satanic, free Dispel, free silence,
K1
and,
ဟုတ်တယ်
you know, Invis and everything
TA
else.
We don't see
T
a lot of
လည်းရှိရနော်
Tidehunter this EWC.
ပြောတော့အခုလက်ရှိဘဲကောင်းနေခက်စားနေငါမြင်တော့ drawing ညာနဲ့လုံးထူပဲတော့
That's
willow
extremely good against Kez because Tidehunter has
Double
his
willow,
built-in
double willow,
dispel
double willow
versus
à.
the Kazurai Katana,
Lu-
which is where
double
all
willow
Kez's
cao
damage
mà.
comes from. So he is one of the melee heroes
con
who
này
doesn't
đá
get
nào mà
bullied
để
the same
rồi.
way as others do versus Kez, and also that shard.
လိမ့်မှာဘိန်းနေဆိုတော့ Terror Blade ဒီပါလေကြိုက်တာပဲတဲ့မ Terror Blade ကမကောင်းပါဘူး Void ပဲတီးပါ
Yeah, I think. I mean,
Kez
the
ကို
reason why
OVT
Tide mentioned-
ဒါပေမဲ့ IOK လို့ရ
Reasons Mira mentioned later on, the Kazurai Katana automatically.
Info ကကောင်းတယ်လောလောဆယ်
So
separate ဘက်က
the laning stage Kez is like a chip damage hero that attacks you a bunch of times, and having the
Separate
built-in
baka
damage
info
as
ka
well.
ထွက်ချင်
So
ထွက်လို့ရ
Tidehunter does to some degree deal with both stages of Kez's game. What I'm seeing a lack
Info
of
ka,
right
info
now
ka.
with Team Spirit, it's like Willow kind of does it, but they're not. Okay, you have the Ravage, you have the Tide Shard, you have the Willow spells. to
အေးလေ
follow up, but
မြန်မာ
through
စလို့ဝယ်လိုက်တာ
this
လေ
I don't think
Mobile
this is
Legend မှာ
enough. So where is the
မြန်မာစလို့ဝယ်တာမဟုတ်မြန်မာမှာစလို့ဝယ်တာ
and I'm just because you
အဲ့
can't
နှစ်ခုက
really
မ
pick a
တူ
hero
ဘူး
like Faceless Void for
ပြောချင်တာ
instance.
ဗျာ
They have all the lockdown right now.
MSN အသင်း
Zero has to
သတင်း
be
နေရ
a
ကို
lot of damage.
အခုက Secret က
Or I guess, yeah, I think
သူတို့
Yasuo
စော့
and
မယ်
Lance
ပြော
Hero
နေ
both
ရ
have to be
ယူ
a lot of damage. I wonder if
အဲ့လို
Lars
ဖြစ်
will
သွား
sell
တော့တိတ်ချ
something
တော့မ
like
သိ
the Lina that we've seen a couple
အဲ့မဲ့ဟုတ်
times.
တယ်လားအဲ့တဲ့တင်း
Just I want to see heavily fixated on
အ
damage.
သင်းနဲ့မယ်နဲ့
because
ငါ
there's
မ
so
မှတ်
much
မိ
for control in
ဘူး
team
တိတ်ချ
fight.
ပြပြဘူး
I still think the Invoker is quite solid.
IO အုပ်ဝင်းကကိုဒီအေတော်တာဘောလို့
On another lane,
Đó là
that could
Grimstone
be
này.
the damage
Secret အခုမြန်မာရောက်လာပြီ
I want to talk about Lilo bit.
Dota
and
2
very
မဟုတ်
dynamic
မို
with
ဘိုင်းလိုက်ကြ
Io. She's a hero that's become popular more recently, but I do think she can provide you that little bit of early game damage boost versus Io before he gets a lot of the sustain in, and she kind of functions as an anti-relocate hero in the sense that if she's ready and the relocate's coming, she can layer her brambles on top of her terrorize and buy her team a very valuable 4 seconds.
That's a good point. Against like Willow and Dawnbreaker, these global teleport ins, it is nice to just have stuff to throw on the ground that is often some pseudo reliable.
ဟိုဘက်ကဟီးချက်တွေကြောက်စရာ
For the heavy sustain line,
လာကိုအာယူကွာ
Largo, something they ran a couple days ago, but
လာကိုကမလဲဖြစ်နိုင်တာပဲ
Largo. The one thing I like about the
မိတ်တော့မဆော့တော့ offlane မဆော့မှာ offlane လာ
first off, you usually want Grimstroke to be in lane with carries that have some sort of innate gap close. Traditionally, it's like Anti-Mage, Ricky, PA. Kez is just
void ပဲတီးပါ void them so
he has
first level void တွေပဲပက်လိုက်
other aspects of his kit, but he also has that.
Void နဲ့
so
တီး
he'll
လို့ရ
utilize the Inkswell, but then also Phantom's Grasp, I think it's called, the second spell.
ဘာထွက်မှာ
for
ဘာထွက်
Grimstroke.
မှာလဲ
That's one of the few spells in the game that is not removed by Tidehunter's Kraken, so you can actually reliably silence him.
The embrace? I guess.
Yeah, the Phantom's, the silence.
အဲ့တော့
yeah.
ပွဲ guess ကမှာမဟုတ်ဘူးငါတို့က
Yes,
၄
his
game မှာ
wife will shut Tidehunter up before he wraps
ဘာလဲဆိုပွဲကြည့်လို့မရဘူးပွဲကအတန်ကြီးနေကွာ
Disruptor
ဒီ game မှာငါတို့
with much
အတန်ကြီးဖွင့်ပြီးတော့သူတို့ guest နားထောင်ပြီးတော့၄ game ပဲဘိုင်းတော့ကြ
It's also quite effective against the
အတန်တော့
very
ပိတ်တော့
heavy
ပိတ်ရ
lanes
ပြီ
that cancel.
ဒါပေမဲ့အတန်ရမ်းပိတ်တယ်လည်းမမိုက်တော့
But I do like this Largo quite a lot. You talked a lot about the sustain on this draft, Brian, but I also think the way a lot of Largos have been playing in the late game, they're taking catchy like talents, I've noticed in that catchy like range. So you can also
ငါတို့ separate ဘက်က info ကကြိုက်တယ်
script later on. You can also dispel the brambles from Willow. It's a really good solution here.
And there's still the
infoကဒါပဲ
so they got the synergy
အဲ့ရ
there.
ကောင်း
Potentially a faces void ban incoming as well because it seems like
နဲတော့ ravish နောက်မှာ cataclysm လေးထုတ်လို့ရပြီးတော့အဲ့ကောင်ရဲ့ info ကလည်းမဆိုးပါဘူးလာ info က
Is there any other hero other than Doom that can really help stop some of the regeneration
care of
coming in
Parivision let's bit
from Pvision because I can't see anything.
I can't see anything
The thing when I look at
ဟာရအဲ့ကောင်ထိုးလိုက်တဲ့တူကလှလိုက်
you need to
တော်တော်မိုက်
through the sustain, but then you also need to have like staying power. The problem I have with like a faceless void is if the chrono doesn't get like 2 kills, then
Everybody is back to full health.
yeah, then what do you do from there?
Yeah.
ကဲတော့ဘာထွက်မလဲ Amber
I wouldn't mind. They have 2 options.
ဒါ no one ပန်ကို
Sustain damage carries like Terrorblade that just dish it out.
ပန်ကိုလည်းရှိသေးတယ်ကွာ Amber လည်းရှိတယ် separate တွေလည်းရှိသေးတယ်အကုန်ရှိ stone spirit လည်းရှိ
Maybe go something like the
void နော် let's bit void ဆိုမိုက်ဝိုင်းနော်တကယ်တကယ်မိုက်ဝိုင်း
Now, you know, Pvision's draft doesn't really have a way to
ရှာတို့ void လိုက်တော့
kill illusion heroes, and so if you take the long fight that way where you wear them down,
ရှာတို့ void တော်တော်လေးကောင်းဝိုင်း
I think I like the TV suggestion a little bit more than PL because in the late game, if Grimstroke gets his Ags, then you always have that PL illusion, which is really strong. And I think just a carry that can buy an early
Oh,
spell,
it's
you
a-
can
I
really
did say
get
no, I'm
something.
yeah,
That's one of his natural items anyway.
ညာတော့ကပါလေငါတို့
the Grimstroke
England
does.
England
I mean, that honestly might
England
be
နှိပ်ဆက်
another reason why
Argentina
they
ပွဲ
did
အောင်မှာ
because illusion heroes are pretty good
ကို
against
ကြည့်
their
ရော
drafts,
ဝမ်းဝမ်း
so Grimstroke
ပြီးရည်မကြည့်လိုက်ရ
everything we said plus
အိပ်ပျော်ပါ
that if you do pick an okay, they banned Leshrac. They want PL. I'm just saying they banned Leshrac. There's no other reason to
ကဲကဲကဲ let's try ကပတ်ကဘန်ဝိုင်း
If we're aware, surely Pvision's also
အဲ့တော့
going
tiny
down.
carry ဘန်ထားရယ်
I mean,
void
the
ပါပဲ
question is, do they
လုံးဝနော် separate ဘက်က void ဆိုတော်တော်ကောင်းဝိုင်း
Yes.
Sheeps. I mean, I guess I don't want to say
Void
it's
it up, void it
but
up.
Lesh is quite a duo. So that you know. if
puppy
Panther
puppy
is
puppy
one
you
duo,
show
that duo
puppy
is
win
a
some လို့လည်းမသိ
former game of Gladiators.
Is it really needed for IO to have another combo, or you feel like it's enough with Kez?
I think they do need a mid-game combo. Like right now, Kez is going to be the guy you tether when you get Aegis. And you're
puppy
trying to
win
go
some
around,
လှ
but somebody to run around with that's just going to dish out a lot of damage. You have 2 enabling supports, and you have Largo, who's also an enabler. So I think they do need to solve the 0 to 20-minute damage problem.
Do you think Faceless Void is off the table here, Brian? Like, I know it would give their draft a lot more greed and a lot
Okay,
more
okay,
pull
let's
on
bit, let's bit.
cadence, but it's so hard to not be tempted when
Seven
you're
and ban.
Yeah, I mean, if
Fight,
you're-
fight,
I
fight.
wouldn't be surprised if they pick it, but I do think it makes the game one mistake away from losing at any given point. Which, if there's a team that
Fight
actually
it well, I
execute and a player to do it, it'd be Yatoro. But I guess I would prefer not to put myself in that position.
It's very intriguing that
First
the
of all,
2 stunning carries and Tiny and Sven get banned. To me, this says that Pvision believe that the only way to get Invoker into this game is to just get him those Sunstrike kills with the stunning heroes on the sidelines.
Damn it, then.
Yeah, they might actually go Alchemist. I'm just realizing, like having a stunning carry that hits a mid-game timing. They kind of have damage issues right now on Pvision. Early game.
Can you guys tell me why or if maybe Ember Spirit would still be good or not?
ဟိုဘက်ကMorphling.
That's a Morphling, by the way. That's unusual.
Morphling လည်းကောင်းတာပဲ
A tiny bit about the Ember Spirit because this is one of the most
Seven ban
and
why?
still incredibly successful
Morphling.
heroes of this EWC.
I love that you asked that question, Shira.
Morphling မတွေ့အောင်ကြာဗျာအဲ့လို Yadro ရဲ့ Morphling ကတကယ် God tier
I think they actually factored that into their last pick.
အဲ့တော့ God tier Morphling ကိုကြည့်ရ
mid laner, and even if you can dispel his flame guard, they don't really have hard lockdown for him for a while until like Tai.
ဟောတော်တော်လေးကောင်းတော့
Once again, limited
They got
damage.
Morphling,
Ember
ကြိုက်တယ်
Spirit punishes that as well. I think both teams are relatively low on their early to mid game damage unless they're able to chain a bunch of
ကဲတော့
spells on you.
Parivision let's bit
They both hit, like I think combo break.
သူတို့ဟာရမမြင်အောင်ပြီးတော့ကာလာကြီးတုံးထားတာဘယ်လိုကြီးလဲမသိဘူးဗျာ monitor ငါ monitor မှာကာလာတွေမှားနေရထင်နေရတယ်သူတို့ကာလာရဲ့အနီရောင်တွေဟောသိလားဟာတော်တော်ဆိုးတယ်
When I see Morphling and I'm looking mid, oh,
That is super
is that
cool.
Largo mid or is that Night Stalker mid?
ကဲလောလောဆယ် nice stalker လာကိုမဲ့
They
ကို
take
ပြောပါ
the
လာ
page
ကို
out
မဲ့
of,
ပါ
Gamer Legion's book who did that
လာကို
earlier.
မဲ့က
They
ဟိုကောင်တွေ
won
ဆော့တ
very
ယ်ဗာလဲငါတို့
successful when he did it. It was against
LGD တို့ပေါ့လေဆော့တယ်လေဟို
but
ကောင်
it did look very
Thailand မဲ့ဆော့
What do we make of it?
I have
အရင်တော့မကောင်း
Sorry, I just think that this Night Stalker was a great pick against Team Spirits here.
လာကုန်နဲ့ info ကနေကမဲ့မထင်းရ info ကတာတယ်ဟောသိလား AC ဆော့လို့ရ
But Night Stalker will always
ဒါပေမဲ့ no one ကြီးကအဲ့လိုမျိုးပစ်တွေဆော့တတ်ပါမလားအဲ့တပေါက်ရှိ အေး no one နဲ့မလိုက်အဲ့ပြောတာ no one ဆော့တတ်ပါမလား
Pvision are saying we're not even going to let you reach those item timings and we're just going to win early with this Night Stalker pick.
yeah, I literally laning
Separate
against
jay, you know?
Night Stalker recently,
Shadow
and it's a
Morphling and
surprisingly
Dima.
strong lane. You think of Night Stalker as kind of a creep for the first 5 minutes of the game.
အဲ့တော့ game 1ကတော့ separate ပဲ
Tends to get him past that stage. I don't think Bane Morph is going to punish it too hard, and then once it hits 5 minutes, I think Night Stalker is one of the few heroes that can threaten to boot Morphling out of lane. You're not going to kill him, most likely, but you are going to force him to be low and potentially pressure his tower with
duration
sort of
over
extra
ဘာ
rotation.
ညာ
I guess they don't
လောက်
really
ပါ
have that
duration over ဝ
rotation.
များ
Like, I don't think a
Morphling နဲ့
Morph
AC ဆော့
is going to like walk to your lane. I guess all you can say
Pvision ဘက်ကလည်းမစိုးမစိုးဘူးက notice စောသီးတက်ကရသွားတော့ဘာလို့ဆိုရင်နည်းနည်း info က အနေအများတယ် info ကိုလိုက်ထောက်လို့ရ
Bio relocate's going to bring 2 extra heroes in. You have Night Stalker vision at all times, so Pvision is going to get the fights that they want. It's just a matter of is Team Spirit going to be able to brace themselves for it.
And to answer your question, Sheaves, it was just such a strong Night Stalker pick that I think they wanted to pick it regardless, and that's why they flexed the Largo. And now you just have to play through your offlane. You have to play through Noticed on his Night Stalker, and no one's gonna.
ဟုတ်တယ်ငါအိတ်ချင်တဲ့ကိစ္စကိုလည်းဖြေရှင်းရစိတ်တွေပဲတောက်လာပြန်လာခဲ့မယ်ဆိုကင်မရာပြန်ဖွင့်ပြီးတော့
So what do we expect coming out of Spirit? Because if there's all this stuff happening on Pvision's side of the map, and they will try to encroach obviously on Team Spirit's side of the map, like how are they going to try to make sure that this Morphling will get the time that he needs, and the Invoker will get the time that he needs?
Go ahead, Mira.
It's just a very classic Team Spirit game where they're going to have to.
separate ပဲနိုင်မယ်ထင်တာပဲဘာလို့ info ကတော့လည်းလောက်ွက်တွေအများကြီးပဲ
One thing I can think of is if you can get this Invoker some Sunstrike kills early, maybe he can rotate, but otherwise they're going to run into this really difficult mid-game timing against Pvision.
This is not a fancy answer, but in the spirit of Maposhka, the coach for Team Spirit, I think Rue is going to need to tank some ganks as Bane, because at the end of the day, you lack map mobility compared to Pvision. Like if we had a map mobility score, it's like 10-2 in this game. So I think that there's going to be times where somebody just has to let the Night Stalker ulti kill them, and I actually think it just has to be Bane, and that's how they're going to get past the
ကီးကက်လေးတွေ့လိုက်လားဟိုမှာပါလေပချာကီးကက်တွေပါတယ်မိုက်
on the side of Team Spirit, and their team fight, there will be a point where you can't fight into them.
Let's find out if Team Spirit can manage to stall the game out, or if Pvision will run right over them. It's time for game number 1 of this 2-game series with Sunspan and Kezu.
Welcome, game 1 indeed, Pvision versus Team Spirit, and this is going to be a doozy and a half.
Oh hell yeah! I've been waiting. This time I fully believe you. Like this is some of the best games I think that we will see, and it is towards the end of the group.
တော့တယ်လိန်နေပြန်ကြည့်ရင် no one
You want to go
No one make a title damn thing.
Do some, other stuff, or suddenly you have to play some other team, single limb, none of those shenanigans. Play clean and move on.
And for Parivision, that means a single game victory in this series is enough to do just that. Spirit have to 2-0, but in the meantime, they are pretty comfortable in that second position as well, and they've played extremely well in this tournament so
far. In game then, big up on the point.
Thus far. Yeah, we have some interesting picks. Kind of a last-minute switch up as noticed Night Stalker last pick in the off lane, which moves Largo, played by no one, to the mid lane.
Honestly, a lot of very cool things here. Like, first of all, you pick the morph into the Largo because, Largo in the off lane, he doesn't pressure very much. It's one of his weaknesses, so you get a very nice morph lane pick.
Well, all on bien Jim is all on my Ducal list now, corner now.
One-upping each other, and yeah,
I'm a little me.
The whole Parivision early game.
The all on vision, but good budget. The win one is when no one of you, a Grimstone were top below ya.
There's no one with a lick on the range creep to make the Sunstrike miss. I like.
Nice little cheeky play. Does have some thick cheeks on that Largo.
Mega.
But yeah, they have a lot of healing.
Mega invoke budget.
On the same team, especially when it's a mid lane Largo. Like, what are we?
I believe you have the way. He's what get you to cool on. I don't get cancer.
Look at all of their lanes. Largo does very well.
When I gain then
He just wants to farm on his own, and then your safe lane is Grim Kez. Sure, it is up against a Tidehunter, but I play Tide against very good Kezes, and they can maneuver around the anchor smasher. Like, even though Tide is a good answer to Kez still free farms in this lane.
Yeah. So you were very excited to see the Morphling pick. I was not.
Or technical problem. I mean, the game one of me.
There was just a period of time for like 2
years. No? They only technical problem.
That's true, but you've had a break from Morph for a while. This year's been
not
dead.
enough. Give it another year.
No. Because what I like now is that they changed like his.
You
don't have to skill like attribute shift early on. Means you can go adapt the strike, you can go wait. You can actually play pretty aggressive. They also buffed the innate more, where the more agi you have, the more attack range you have. I don't think it's like crazy changes overall, but the thing is also, this is a Yatoro special. In these big tournaments, you're gonna get the Yatoro Drow, Yatoro Faceless Void, Yatoro Morphling. So I'm all for it.
It's funny. I was excited in part to see the Morphling only because of the new set, which he did equip initially.
Yatoro Morphling separate below.
Maybe he hasn't like played it in pubs. Like sometimes you have
you remind yourself when I all
these amazing games. I don't know if it's
pain it easy well 9 million below the nightgloves like Dio.
Coming for nobody, but 9
taken
out eventually by Yatoro. If he can find one more right click, make it
easy well first blood.
To Yatoro.
I mean, they got the level advantage and just immediately get to play on it.
No, they got bebo tab. They got ball on the light. Tamo, the gun is small near my talent. A pong up, boom, piao.
Speaking of nighttime, let's talk about the Night Stalker.
Aquati.
To me, this hero is a hit or a miss. And based on your reaction thus far, Satanic, a lot of damage. Will dodge the Sunstrike. Shadow Realm.
Oh, no, my cats got they don't die out. They have a cast in a young gang.
Have to be gifted some tangos. Yeah, Night Stalker.
All of my colors so lame. Colors no meaning. Easy solo.
Has that changed at all?
Diga Baloi, Papi Yola. Oh, yeah, meow. Kaima. Be I will call my necklace or I might.
Good against Morph early on. I will say once Morph gets to like his 3rd item, 4th item, he can just stand his ground and honestly just
Megaro. Oh yeah, no one play down already. Well, I look sure.
For a good Night Stalker game.
Oh, they have.
No one in the mid lane. 21-3 versus Laurel.
DJ, man.
So great start.
That one already like Dean.
Also like
from Spears.
Mena even Bialu Mia Uha. Poto, Deva song piano look. I am a piano. Lord, the sudden a thing almost.
This is one thing that I need to talk about because usually when you pick Tide in this matchup, it's
Mena even Bialu Mialo. Mena Biaran, other song and cake. No, they go more.
But they're going a completely different route. They can just play aggressive with the start.
Hello, Paul Mother Morphling at I leave her. All the wave net, a light deal with sense right. Oh, then they lure.
But it's shared, noticed.
Yeah, Pauline, no, Yadoro, DJ.
Still overall a lot of pressure, but yeah, you can see the.
Damn it, now my own, and they'll come. Hurricane by the by, Toamaya. For Sapuria. 4 step သွားမဲ့ကောင်တွေမဟုတ်အဲ့တော့ net shot ရှိတော့တယ်တော့အောက်မှာ normal show ပါ
Collapse won't be too sad about that. Gets some nice solo XP. As you can see, his CS is top 2 already.
ညတော့ကြည့်ရတဲ့ကာလာဘယ်လိုနေလဲကောင်းလားငါဆက်ပြောင်းထားလို့ဆက်တင်တွေကငါလည်းနားမလဲဆက်တင်နေ
And in terms of the 6-minute rotations for the power runes, which team do you think has the
လောင်းတိုင်းနိုးစီဟုတ်ပါ
It should be Parivision. I think just simply
ဟိုနေ့ကငါပြောပြီးပါပြီငါတိုင်ပတ်နေတော့ငါကွန်ပျူတာမနေ့တနေ့ကမှသုံးတဲ့လူတယောက်ပြန်ဖြစ် OBS ဆက်တင်နေရဆိုမတူဘူးကတော့တယ်မြတ်မှာတီးခံလိုက်ရပြီလို့နော်ပေါ်မှာလဲရတော့တော့တာရပါတယ်တော့တယ်ပထမညရောက်
So if you're Parivision and 9 class, you kind of have free real estate. You want to keep playing with the frog and mid, you want to
ပထမညလိုက်တီးမဲ့ပုံစံလည်းတိတ်တော့မရှိဘူး suggest လား suggest က split ကိုမကြိုက်ဘူးလားလောတယ် game 1တော့ split ကြိုက်အဲ့တော့လောတယ်မှာ ice wall လေးနဲ့ maze ထက်ခင် no one တီးလိုက်မှာ 9 class ဆိုတာထပ်သေးမလား force break ကလိုက်ပြက် sans right ကွက်တီအိုးကောင်းတယ်ဟေးဘာလို့ split back ကယူထားတဲ့9កောင်မှာ4កောင်လောက်ကသူတို့ကောင်းတော့ကွာသိလား
how much these early kills actually matter because Parivision they have a super aggressive early draft and if they're
အဲ့တော့အရင်ရောမလွယ်တော့ဘူးဗျ
run you over so very big counterplay here on their respawn
အရင်လွယ်မဲ့ပွဲတော့မဟုတ်ဘူး Parivision ခတ်တယ်
which is the inkswell targets.
Yep.
And well, we don't really think of soulblind targets as often because I feel like that's kind of an icing on the cake. It's more the Aghanim Scepter later in the game, the Dark Portrait.
Yeah, it's definitely a big bonus. I think first of all
တော့တယ်မြတ်မှာစက်တီးအောင်လားမသိဘူး no one တော်တော်လုံးနေ
I think with the innate where if you click people or if you have
ဟုတ်တယ် puppy draft
in the fog it makes it super nice and easy to trade
အဲ့တော့အောက်မှာလဲ satanic ကရှော့သွားပြီအဲ့လိမ့်နေကုန်လုံးဒီကောင်တွေအဆင်ပြေမနေဘူး
getting some outplays on the lanes currently
အဲ့တော့မြတ်မှာလောက်လိုက်တော့တီးတာတယ်ဟုတ်တယ်လောက်အဲ့လိုလိုက်တီးတာတွေကမစိုးပါဘူး
this is a very heads up move from Notice. I love that. Like Morphling in the top lane, sure, if you go up against him, it's like a 1v1 farm fest in terms of the CS, but if you go mid, what is Morphling's answer? And what is Tidehunter's answer? They don't want to move from their lane.
ကဲလောတယ်အောက်မှာ satanic ကထပ်တီးရပြန်ခုလာလင်းတေးပြီခုလင်းပြန်ကြတာအဲ့တော့ stand အဲ့တော့ Duclis IO Morphling တော့ရောက်တော့ရောက်လာအောင် satanic ကိုထပ်တတ်နိုင်မဆိုတိုက်ဟန်နာကစစ်တော့မရတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့မစ်တာကိုကျိုးသွားပြီစောကြီးပဲအဲ့လာကိုရောက်တော့တာဟုတ်တယ် spirit လေကင်းလဲကောင်းတယ်ဘလို့အာလီကင်းလဲကောင်းတယ်အခုကြည့်ဦး Morphling အစောကြီးရဲ့ active ဖြစ်ပြီးတော့ထွက်လာအဲ့တော့တော့ sense right အော် Colors ဝင်တိုးရတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့အချိန်နေမကောင်း Colors ရှော့သွားပြီအဲ့တော့ no one ရောက်လာနဲ့ not me ဘာထပ်ပြီးတော့တီးလို့ရသေးတယ်3စက္ကန့်ဆိုတော့အဲ့တော့ tower ရှိရောက်ရင်ရှားနေဆိုရင်မဆွဲတော့ဘူးမပြန်တိုးသွားပြီ
Absolutely not. He'd be lower level than this, but
in game တန်မရှိဘူး bro
stole the enemy with the trend and TP spot him and take
ကျွန်တော်တို့ clean feed မရအောင်
when you're the team
in game တန်ချဲလိုက်ရင်ဟိုကောင်တွေကတ်စာစံနေပါကျဲလာမှာ
damn strong
အဆင်ပြေလားမင်းတို့ကြည့်ရတာငါလည်းမပြောတော့
to make the moves in the early game so both
တခါမှလည်းအဲ့လိုမပြဘူး
will be slowed down here
အဲ့တော့ဘယ်လိုကြည့်ကြတယ်အဲ့လိုကြည့်ကြတဲ့ပုံစံပြော
And what is the theory behind the IO pick other than the fact that you
ဒီပွဲက
have double heal core or not core
mobile legend တော့အဲ့လိုပြောရတယ်ငါဆဲခံရအောင်
very good it's also here that is
ငါတို့ကွာဒီပြိုင်ပွဲကွာ mobile legend လည်းငါ official ရတယ်ကွာ Dota 2လည်းရတယ်ကွာ mobile legend က clean feed ပေးတယ်ကွာ Dota 2က clean feed မပေးဘူးကွာစဉ်းစားကြည့်
so another dash
တော့ satanic down သွားပြီ
and that's 3 for satanic already and collapse
mobile legend က main မှာပွဲရောယောက်ျားပွဲရောနောက်ဆုံးပြီးခဲ့တဲ့ wine cat ကစ clean feed ပေးတယ် Dota 2ကို clean feed မပေးဘူးတကယ်ရေးကြီးရယ်အဲ့တော့ Duclis ပြန် for ရတယ်တေးပါအဲ့တော့အောက်မှာ satanic ကမွားတယ်
yeah a lot of these early moves I do think that Spirit are getting more out of this early game than honestly they deserve getting multiple kills in this bottom lane
copyright မညိဘူး copyright မညိဘူးကျွန်တော် official ရ copyright ကိစ္စပြဿနာမရှိဘူး
very happy with how the game is going at the moment
ဒီကကျွန်တော်ကြည့်ဖို့အချိန်ကြီးတစ်ချက်ကြည့်လိုက်
Parivision games where even behind they don't it doesn't feel like they're rushed
at all. And if they get to that mid to late game, especially with the likes of Kez, I mean, how good is their late game? Because just looking at the heroes, it doesn't seem. No,
their late game is still honestly quite good. Like you've got.
notice level မှာတာဝါချိုးမယ်နော်
Obviously, it depends a lot also on like the itemization.
ဒီကောင်တက်တူကတော်တော်ကြိုက်နေပြီလို့ဆောင်းမိုက်
MKB within the illusion kind of owns himself, or is it going to be something different? But a lot of Night Stalker drafts is also about the mid game, the post laning stage, because if you're
ကဲနောက် maze နဲ့9 glass
in the bramble,
အေးတင်း sure နောက်ဆုံးဒီဘက်မှာဓာတ်ဝီလို့ပဲထက် sure 1-1 trade ပါ
But yeah, Night Stalker owns the minute to 20 mark. He's usually like the king of the map, just using your ult against these heroes.
ကိုကြီးရလောက်ထိတော့လာကိုလည်းတော်တော်ထောက်တော့နော်
So even if Parivision are slightly behind early on, I would absolutely
လုံးဝထိတ်ဆုံးပါပဲ no one
in the next couple of minutes.
Notice working on a blink dagger as his first main.
လာခါရပြီ
So just looking to be ultra aggressive. We'll see how that works out for him.
ခါရပြီမယ်ရောဟမ်မနဲ့ဒီကောင်နေဖန်အောင်ပါ
Very early centric overall.
Yeah.
With a little bit of Kez in the late game.
Because they definitely like eventually what they want to reach is like the IO Largo together as let's see, we've got a sleep set up, but I think this is more pressure than really anything else. Because they don't have the easiest playmake, right? On Parivision, if you're Spirit, you're happy keeping a very stale map where not much is happening. Tide bottom, Yatoro stays top. Most of the plays kind of have to be initiated through the Night Stalker, and him having to go drums playing it, not a bad build by any means, but it is very early game centric.
And does the build change at all for any of these heroes based on the positions? Like Largo, for example, has a soul ring.
အဲ့ပြောတာ separate ကိုပဲတီးလိုက်ပါဒီဘက်က separate တာတယ်ဒီကောင်နေ AC ဆော်လို့ရတယ်တော့တဲ့အောက်မှာ Sunstrike နဲ့ 9 class ကထပ်သေးပြန်ပြီဘာလို့က Bane setup ရှိရကွာ Sunstrike ချမှာကွာပြီး Dewi လို့ setup ရှိရ Sunstrike ချပြီးသွားရင်တိုင်းရ Ravage နဲ့ဆော့ရလွယ်တယ်ကွာ separate ဘက်ကဒီပွဲကမခတ်ဘူးတော့တဲ့ not မီရော down သွားပြီအဲ့တော့ဟိုဘက်ကအရင်တဲ့မလိုက်လုံးမှာ Night Stalker drum dagger လောက်ပြီးသွားတော့မဆိုးအဲ့ကောင် dagger ပြီးသွားရင်နည်းနည်းအန်ဒီရရှိဒီစတဲ့ချက် Russia လို့ပြောအေးဗော Russia လို့ပြောမှာအဲ့တော့ဒီဘက်မှာ stack တွေ AC ပဲ color ဆွဲစား
Also going to have the consecrated wrap soon, and while they do have good heroes to like deal with what's
Guess that 6ခုတယ်ဘင်းကလုတ်ပေးချက်တွေ
I think that this current state of the game is beneficial for Spirit.
အဲ့တော့ Lord the finger Sunstrike အော် Cree weight တက်လာတာလို့ wave နဲ့ okay notice တေသွားပြီ
To finish the job, and Ducalis a little bit too late to the party. Won't suffer the consequences though.
Yeah, nice play. I do think that Rue is
ဒါတော့မနော်နောက်က Cree တက်လာလို့ Cree တက်မလိုက်ပူအောင်ဆို
double wisdom shrine steal. You get a lot of sacks going for your Tide. Now finding this play on note is close to his tier 1 tower.
ရတော့ကလုံးဝအလွတ်ကြီးစား offering ရနောက်ကကြော hurricane bite စောစီးထည့်ရင်ကောင်း -9 hurricane bite ဘာလို့ nice stock ကလုတ်တော့မှာဒါပေမဲ့ dagger ခုမှ fan ပါဒီကောင်လည်းချိန်တော့လိုသေးတယ်
I'm still looking at how Parivision want to progress the map currently. Of course, you have IO.
အဲ့တော့အောက်မှာ colors မိယူအီ Ravage ရှိရကွာဒါပေမဲ့ nice stock ကပါရောက်လာပြီဆိုတော့ colors လည်းသုံးမှာတော့မဟုတ်တော့ပေးလိုက်ဟာလှလိုက်တော့ကွာ normally ချပြီးတဲ့ terrorize ကတကယ်တော့ကွက်တီပဲ
See if they can turn this into something else.
တော့လက်စက်ကလေး
Relocate up top, but doesn't really look like it.
Yeah, Spirit able to
အောက်ကိုဆင်းသွား
sides of the map now.
အဲ့တော့ဟိုဘက်က dash session လည်းမရှိတော့ nice stock ကညာပြောင်းပြီးသွားပြီကွာ အဲ့တော့မြင်တော့မြင်သွားပြီဗျ info ကဆင်းလာတာကဲတော့ test smoke တယ် 9 glass နဲ့ထပ်တိုးတယ်အဲ့တော့ Sunstrike APoTE က9កောက်ရှိပါ
Clap's actually changing his itemization. So after the wraps, we'll be going for a Yules. Very interesting.
APoTE က9កောက်ရှိပါပြီ
First of all, gives you a relocate cancel, which is quite nice later on. And I think also when this Night Stalker like runs on you, you can Yule him, then still find a position to also get the Ravage off for yourself.
ဒါကို vessel နဲ့
It's also a good item when you want to play like a more open map, right? You get more
ပြပါဆက်တော့ပြကြောင်းလားဒါမှခါရဆန်းကြီး
to get away.
ခါဆန်းကြီးပဲထည့်မှာ
Found a real entry into this game yet. He does have the vessel available and will get the 14-minute active rune.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like Largo, once he gets that second,
ဒီလိုမျိုးကြီးอ่ะတော်တော်မကောင်းတာကွာနင်တို့တော့မသိဘူးငါတော့တော်တော်ကြီးကိုဆူဆူဝါကြီးပဲဘာလို့အမှန်တကယ်ဆိုငါပွဲကြည့်ရဲဆိုကွာတမထိုင်နာထောင်တယ်ဒီကောင်လေးကတ်တာခုကြော်ဒီကောင်လေးကတ်တာကိုထိုင်နာထောင်လို့မရဘူးသူတို့ပြန်ပြီးတော့ကြော်ပြောနေတယ်
If you preload this, Bane can't really play. If there's a terrorize, you can always take that off as well.
အဲ့တော့ဟိုဘက်မှာ smoke info ကိုလိုက်ရှာ info ကိုလိုက်ရှာနေတာဒါပေမဲ့လူနဲ့ပဲတော့တိုးတယ် relocate ပါကြမတန်ဘူးမတန်ဘူးလားတေးတော့မသေးပါဘူးဟိုဘက်က
I don't know if the Inkso wasn't available, but not me getting out scot-free, even with the relocate being used during all of this.
Mac now online for 9 class. It's so weird to see him play these.
အဲ့တော့ပေါ်မှာရတိုးက AC fan
I mean, not that IO is a standard. It's not a 9 class.
No, like his Kagla and Io, I do think like over time, this guy got to calibrate. You know, from being the weirdo hipster monkey guy who just jumps around on trees, he's starting to definitely develop his overall hero pool.
Kagla makes a little bit more sense just because you can kind of roam free. You can be greedy with farm. IO, not really being.
I mean, I guess
အဲ့တော့ night class ဆိုတဲ့ဖေးဖေးနဲ့ mega sun တော့ပြီးသွားပြီ
again with maxing spirits, it's quite good. So if you do have a good
ကောင်းတယ် night class ဆို
do this, so when the game slows down, you can just farm some camps and be chilling. He was also like some 25-game win streak, as hold that for a moment, Satanic.
Yeah, already uses the echo slash and collapse. It's going to be hard to.
နည်းဒီကောင်ကတ်ဆက်တယ်ကျဲလိုက်ပွဲကြည့်လို့ကြည့်ကြ
Will he be spotted? There's the Fiend's grip. They
Oh,
get
they
everything they need. Just the single Fiend's grip is more than enough. So a great pickoff for
အဲ့တော့
Spirit.
ဘာလို့ကြ
Noticed.
နော်မီဝင်သွားတယ်
Just fine. They're going to turn their sights on the
ဝင်သွားရင်သေးမှာပဲ
support for a
အဲ့တော့
carry.
တိုက်ကြီးရောက်လာတယ် info ကလည်းရှိရ morphine လည်းရှိရချမယ်ထင်တယ် spirit ကအော်တိုလေးတို့ရလွယ်
Not going to hit. They get the EMP.
အဲ့တော့ EMP no mana ကျန်သေးတယ် Ravish ကောင်းသွားပြီအဲ့တော့ IO နဲ့ကယ်လို့မရတော့ဘူး
As 9 class gets the mech, keeping no
no
one
way
safe
ကြောင်ထဲမှာ
from
short
being, but he
ထပ်
dies
ပြထပ်ပြ
shortly
ထပ်ပြ
after. Notice.
အော် relocate တယ်
It's going to be a nightmare.
ဒါပေမဲ့ကယ်လို့မရလိုက်ဘူးတွေ့လား notice ကျန်ခဲ့တယ်
That was really close as Notice dies as a result. So 2
အဲ့တော့ IO ပါထက်ရ
in favor of Spirit.
တာဝိုင်း
3 if you count the Kez from earlier. 9 class comes back with the reload.
တာသွားပြီနော် tornado
And Ducalis is
wave
linked up
နဲ့
for
ရ
the
တိုး
time
ထပ်
being.
ဝိုက်
That's gonna be a 4th kill overall.
အဲ့တော့ထပ်ဝိုက်လို့ရသေးတယ်နောက်တော့ကောင် okay ၄ကောင်လုံး show
Absolutely disgusting display from them.
Yeah, just like the understanding that they're pressuring bottom and they do attack mid at the same time because they know if
အဲ့
something
တော့ဘာလို့ကြ
happens
အောက်မှာ
there,
tower တော့
they
ချိုး
can TP
အောက်မှာလည်း
over.
ကျိုး
I
ပါ
also
ရောမင်းလည်း
I
ကျိုး
didn't
ပါ
quite spot what happened at the end with the sleep on Notice. I don't know if Rune
Oh,
got
such
like
a minute,
a
3K
dodge on, like,
Wabi.
the overall relocate towards the very end. But I think just the understanding here that after killing bottom, you can still fight mid, and obviously there's reinforcements, right? You see Collapse, he's like keeping over and making this happen because, yeah, I think Parivision, they're definitely struggling here.
Oh, bottom. Oh, boy. We got some trouble for Satanic.
အဲ့တော့အောက်မှာဟိုကောင်ကဲကောင်းနေဟောတေးသွားသေးရ
Close though, Satanic will go down to the anchor smash. So another death. I mean,
ဘယ်လိုဖြစ်လို့လာရှောอ่ะ
5 deaths
ပိုင်းနေထိပါ
already.
ဟောတဲ့ colors လေ Ravi လည်းမရှိဘူး
Now, his rotations
အဲ့တော့ colors လေပြန်ပေးရမလားဆိုတော့ make sure ခင်းတာဟော
not me in the area with the bramble. Still has terrorize at the ready. Just the threat of that's going to be enough for him to be able to walk.
အဲ့တော့ပုံမှန်လေးပဲဒူးဝါကြီးအဲ့တော့18မိနစ်18ကောင် split ကတကယ်လို့
Kinda got here, definitely worth it for him. Like, you're behind, I think there was a streak on Law, he got like 600 gold. And like you said, he has 5 deaths, but his net worth is still very, very good on the Kez. Obviously, you'd prefer not to be 1,000 gold behind your Taurus Morphling. Needless to say, that guy is the hero of the game.
Toro now with the Manta style.
အဲ့ရတိုးနဲ့ထိတ်ဆုံးပါနော်
Along with the Vlads that he picked up earlier will be a Hurricane Pike. And yeah, I wanted to ask about
ခုတည်းကလုံးဝမကြသေးဘူးအေး notice ရတိုးကိုလိုက်ဖမ်းအောင်မလား
looks like he has
မ
butterfly.
မိလောက်မမိလောက်ရတိုးတို့
Is that the right choice?
တက်ကပါပြီလားမသိ notice မှာမပါဘူးထင်တယ်ရှာနဲ့ဆွဲတယ်မန်တာမိရဲ့ဗျ
He gets the attribute shift off. There's
ကဲလို့မရတော့ရတိုးတို့ down သွားပြီ
the terrorize a little bit too slow. Notice gets the kill. Big one.
ဒါပေမဲ့အများကြီးပေးလိုက်ရတော့9ကောင်လုံး
Honestly, I'm happy for them that they find
cast ပါပါ
their draft absolutely can do this. Probably could have done that even earlier as well.
အဲ့တော့ဒီဘက်နောက်မှာတဝီလို့ပဲလိုက်ဖမ်းသေးတယ် mix
Rushed for his efforts though.
အဲ့တော့ notice ပါပြန်ရှော့
Double root indeed. Sunstroke
မစိုးတော့မစိုးပါဘူးရတိုးတို့နဲ့ပြန်တော့ trade တော့ trade လိုက်ရ
they get the trade. Obviously not the one the Spirit wanted, but still could be worse for sure. Like you said, they should not be up in
ဘာကြီးတော့တက်ဟန်တာ EU ပဲလားဟုတ်တယ် first side နဲ့ရိုးနဲ့အဲ့တော့ Grimstone ကိုထက်ရအဲ့တော့ cast မှာတက်ဆိုပါလာပြီဒါပေမဲ့ဒီကောင်ခုမှရကဲအောင်ပါကဲပလိုက်ပြီးတော့အဲ့တော့ IO လည်းကဲလို့မရ Ravish ထပ်ပြီးအဲ့တော့ IO ပါထပ်သက် IO ကိုပါထပ်သက်မတက်လို့မရတော့ပြေးရပြီနောက်မှာ info ကရောက်လာတယ်အဲ့တော့လာကိုဝင်လုံးလိုက်လာကိုလည်း show ဟုတ်တယ်ဟာ separate ကောင်းတယ်နော်လောဆယ် 4K ပဲကျန်တော့တယ် 4K တာဝိုင်းပဲဒါတော့ Morphling က network ထိပ်ဆုံးမဟုတ်ဘူးနော် network ထိပ်ဆုံးမှာ color ကြီးอ่ะအေးစစ်သေးပဲဒီကောင်နေစောနေရကြီးမကြည့်အောင်တော်တော်သားရသည်မဲရှိနေကြအဲ့တော့အောက်မှာတော်မန်တာထက်ရပြင်းရည်ကွာငါတို့အင်္ဂလိပ်နဲ့မကြားပြတော်တိုင်းပတ်တာပဲ
Many of those for this lineup. Again, they haven't had to lose a single game at this tournament so far. They're going to turn things right on top of Laurel. He gets demolished. Relocate use. Satanic desperately needing that.
Đó là mà nó đóng qua đi. Không có Roche đó mà.
You have Night Stalker. You've got the relocate.
Oh, this is great news. They can go for Roche.
Yeah,
they don't have to worry about Invoker for 40 seconds.
You just got the fresh desolation.
That's all we care about.
He is alive. He's got blink. He's got
use. Tay mà Robinမရှိ
We know the drill.
Early.
Hey.
Instinctual. Goes into the pit, pops the Kraken shell, gonna dodge the entirety of the Raptor dances. Roche is not happy with this display.
Có là tối giờ vậy?
Try to go for Roche himself. He's already at half HP.
Không cần đâu mà. Nó còn
Grimstroke ult connecting a bit as they
sao đến đây còn tay bắn đấy? Chả nó quấy biết đó rồi. Wait, hold there. Aegis của Roche kia ở cô nha. People, double key, triple key.
As Spirit,
yo.
Defenders,
Em mà sense right. The game gone rồi, nó đại giờ.
Another one to fall for Parivision. Technically wasn't collapse stealing it, but he did start the trend here.
He's always the reason why this team gets Roche one way or the other. Like either he steals it or he makes 5 people hate him, and then Yotoro's like, "Don't worry, bro, I got the security."
A single casual waveform just taking that for himself. All the hard work was collapsed.
This is the stuff that you're gonna see in like the most high-skill matches, like understanding that you can go here, and even though you're not fully like stopping them from roshing or like you're not gonna be stealing it, you make so much time. It turns into the daytime. Look at how much space and like effort he's just tanking overall. Notice as well is forced to jump in during the daytime, and then Yotoro's like, "Yeah, bro."
Yeah,
nice
terrorized it,
man. Well, they do get him, which is probably therapeutic if nothing else, but Yotoro basically had nothing to do other than waveform, and then he could just clean up.
Oh man,
the table was set by collapse, and Yotoro went ham. Now
it's a 10k lead with the Aegis
on
hand.
It's even a breaker.
Want to see what type of like plan even that Parivision are looking for here. Definitely not an easy game to execute from this point onward. They do still have a lot of power spikes that are coming. Obviously their scale is like, you know, nothing bad at all. You have Largo, you have Night Stalker, you have Kez. If you can get a couple of BKBs going your way, I think that would be one kind of timing that they'll be looking for. And of course, the Dookie Duke Aghanim Scepter on the Grimstroke, always very good against the Morphling.
Is Satanic gonna have
Kez will team, man. I glass will team. No, the mace.
He very likely could. He's at 7.
He's not far off.
I mean, low guy will team sheep.
If Parivision are gonna hold on at all.
Roche,
they only need a single game.
Nigga, ma, the name is sheep. Nigga, ma, mania on PUI.
Yeah, Spirit ain't having any of that. They like to play
Nigga,
very
man,
high end while at EWC. I want to get the 2-0 here.
They come out Sally anyway. We
With the
see.
Aegis.
Đó là áo mà tao thấy à.
Use as well on
how much do they want to get out of this? Obviously, just taking the Roche in general is a great deny.
Đó là game web separate rồi là. Cô biết vậy.
Instead of 2.5
Mình see
minutes,
về.
this is very high chance you're getting all the tier 2s and
Nhưng mà tao thấy chủ.
then just gives you the overall map. There's no need to really push for a Rax. You could hit the high ground to force people back, but I think closing out all the tier 2s would be the main objective. As Collapse found himself stuck in a tree line.
It happens.
Not as bad as one of the PGLs where he got stuck on a cliff for 6 minutes.
Go back. Tiếp bên trái mà nhẹ.
I think he just ended up using a Ravage because nothing happened.
I vaguely remember that. Usually it's Arteezy.
Shiva cái to. Tại chỉ Shiva cái to.
To take the record of the cliff man.
Rồi giờ rồi Aegis năm mình đi chạy nữa.
For Parivision.
Chỉ xem.
Cute little animation on the frog. Want to see later, you know, because you can turn into the Largo, maybe steal the Croak, give it to a Laurel if you want. I don't know if that's like his main target. I think turning into the Kez is also pretty chill if you want. Of course, Night Stalker, you can steal the Silence.
What about Pie?
Surely he doesn't want to turn into Largo in a fight. It's not, can't be that good.
You can steal the spell and like Croak
I'm
and
not
just turn
saying it's
around.
bad, it's just that surely there's better options. Like even the Night Stalker would be better, I would think.
Honestly, I don't really know. I think if you want to like, if we want to make Laurel pop off, which I
Hey,
don't know
no,
if you
Shadow
can
Found.
do that because
Nice
you're
got
already
cool
owning it
view.
anyway.
We thought we were go silent.
Ain't no support. That's a Morphling carry right there, tell you what.
Let's see a Toro though, bro. He's big picture type of player.
It's true.
But honestly, at this point too, I think his ult is kind of a bonus. He might just go rampant.
Shadow Morphling they got him so draw job.
As 50 seconds left on the Aegis, did clear every
Damn
single
it,
tier 2
Geno,
tower, and they picked up a gem.
What's the Aghanim Scepter timing here? Oh my god, I was actually memeing, but he has a greedy enchantment on Grimstroke, so he's only 1,000 away from Dark Portrait already. That's kind of crazy.
I mean, Grim farms fast. You can clear waves with
No, they notice who me you again.
Now they find themselves a little Night Stalker
delicious
treat. And this is what I'm talking about with Night Stalker. If the game doesn't go extremely well early, this hero feels like it feels bad to have on your team. Like you might as well have just picked any other offlaner.
They definitely expected this game to go better because Night Stalker, even with not the best early game, if you find ways to go on the enemy draft, like collapse on a guy, you have the relocate. I do think that maybe it has a bit to do that no one is playing Largo. Usually he's a lot more of a playmaker for the team, set up the tempo, set up the place overall, like get all the relocates going.
Okay, what be why? Separate bit now.
I mean, maybe
you did
last pick this Night Stalker to make a lot of things, you know, happen in this early to mid game, and I don't really think that happened.
No one do at all.
We are. End of the Aegis going for a lot of pressure.
Okay, lot of Aegis job.
We'll get the tower. Well, it is
Aegis job.
They're going to play it safe. 13k lead has truly ballooned after that Roche fight.
Yeah, and
now Shiva is online for Laurel.
You have full map
control.
They still have two pretty good wards out. You can see one here on the one and one on the bottom side of the map, but
no one Lago yet lay one.
Gold lead and the
gem.
Will soon say goodbye to most of your map.
Me Dabi.
Finds himself a frog.
Oh, BKB the guy there.
Treat after delicious treat.
Sounds right.
Grip,
sure.
This BKB completely useless against that combo.
Oh, but no, 9 glass.
Don't think they spotted him. Just on the outskirts of the dust.
He's taking the correct way. He's got a couple more seconds. We'll make it out.
Yeah, it has the Holy Locket, Glimmer Cape, and Mech.
Okay, let me out.
And for no one.
It'll be
Ags next, so. Man, this is tough to see a comeback without Kez going crazy.
At this point, my eyes are on the Dark Portrait.
That's
I
true.
think you get the Morphling illusion.
I'm
pretty sure if you're 9 you're tethering that one. You're not tethering a hero anymore. You're tethering that illusion and trying to make it go ham. The only thing with Morph illusion is it's honestly like it doesn't have the highest. Of course, it's gonna have a butterfly, which at that point it's gonna be quite strong. Rue trying to set up, but of course Night Stalker just
collapse with the Yules. And this has really paid for itself.
Sure.
Over and over. Not me gets that one.
That's why, like,
dagger.
top tier vision is so, like, there's so many small things going into it. Like, look at Spirit. They're warding their own triangle because when you're up...
They're going to
farm your top jungle. They're
Parivision
going to squeeze in hero there. Without this ward, you're not finding this kill on a random Night Stalker.
ချက်တို့ nice talk တို့အဓိကတင်မလား nice talk ကိုကြည့်ကွာ nice talk က network ကြီးအလုံးဝလေးကွေးနေတယ်တတောင်းမရှိသေးဟိုဘက်ကတဝေးလုံးနဲ့တော့မှနေလန်းကလာဖြစ်အဲ့တော့ပြန်လာဖို့ကတိတ်တော့မလွယ်ဘူးကွာနားကောင်းလားတော့တယ်ကျွန်တော်3 man smoke အဲ့တော့ separate ကတက်ပါပဲအဲ့ Roshan တော့မဆောက်ဘူးနော်တက်မှာဒီချိန်လိုက်ချလို့ကောင်းအဲ့ပေါ်မှာဘယ်သူရှိတိုင်းနိုင် Rabbit တက်ခွဲတယ်ကွာပြီးနောက်ကနေပြီးအကုန် follow လိုက်ရုံပဲ easy ပဲအဲ့တော့တိုက်ကြီးကိုဖျက်ဖို့ရတယ်မလွယ်ဘူးအဲ့တော့ level တွေနဲ့ဖမ်းတယ် mace ချတယ်နောက်က IO က relocate မရှိဘူးတော့တယ်ဒီဘက်မှာ cast ကမိသွားပြီဝက်ကြီးကကောင်းလိုက်တယ်ကွာဟိုမှာကြက်ကလာချောင်းတယ်တေသွားတယ်အဲ့တော့ကြက်မရှိပဲချလို့ဘာလို့မရအောင်ဘာကြီးလက်ကွာအဲ့ဒါကြီးပြမနေနဲ့လေတော့တဲ့ cast မပါဘူးကွာ relocate လည်းမရှိဘူးတခေါင်းပြီးတခေါင်း Colors ကဖမ်းရုံပဲ ice for on နဲ့ sure အဲ့ Crimstone လည်းမရှိတော့နှစ်ကောင်လုံး down သွားပြီအဲ့ AC ပဲကျွန်တော် mega တလန်းရအဲ့နောက်တလန်းမှာထက်ယူလို့ရအဲ့တိုက်ကြီးက light ထုတယ် show အေး IO ကထပ်ပြီးတော့မိတယ် IO ကထက် show အဲ့တော့တဝီလုံး mega ခေးအဲ့ပေါ်မှာရာတို့ကအကုန်လုံးလိုက်ချိုးသွားပြီကြည့်အဲ့တော့ကြက်တော့ထွက်လာပြီဒါပေမဲ့ချလို့မရပါဘူးရှုံးသွားပြီ Parivision က Parivision ရှုံးသွားပြီရှာတိုးတို့တခါလည်းမအံ့ဟမ် GG ခေါ်ခိုင်းနေဒါမှမဟုတ် fight ဆိုင်ကိုစောက်ဟိုဘက်ကလာချတာစမုတ်နဲ့ high ground မှာထိုင်စောက်တော်တော် yes မဲ Roshan သွားအောင်ပါဗျာ Roshan သွားချောင်းနေသေးတယ် Roshan သွားချောင်းနေသေးတယ်ဆရာကြီးတွေကအဲ့တော့တက်ကြမှာတက်လို့တော့ရမဘေးက Roshan ထိုင်ဆောက် Roshan ပစ်တယ်မှာ Roshan သွားလို့လည်းလို့တကယ် Roshan သွားလို့မလဲ Morphling နဲ့တိုးကအေးပါကွာမင်းတို့ကလေးတွေကိုသွားပြီးတော့ share နိုင်ခြင်း Roshan သွားလို့ဒီနေတဲ့အဲ့တော့လာချတော့လဲဝင်ဆိုင်အောင်မယ်ကြည့် Colors ကထိတ်ဆုံးကလေးနဲ့လူကြီးနဲ့စော့နေတကယ် Ravish အော်ရ PKB တွေပေးလိုက်တယ်အော် Ghost Scepter လေးနဲ့ချိန်နေချက် show လောတဲ့ no one ပဲမိတယ် no one ကိုတီးအောင်မှာရာတူတို့ကဟာဒီဘက်မှာလည်း info ကတကောင်းနဲ့ space ရှောက်သုံးတယ်သွားမိတယ်လို့ဟိုမှာကြည့် no one ရအဲ့တော့ wave နဲ့ရာတူတို့ဖြတ်တယ်နောက် notice touch shot devil key အဲ့တော့ GG Ravish ကထက်ခွဲ Cataclysm နဲ့နောက် triple key ultra key rampage ဟုတ်တယ်ဟာအဲ့တော့ရာတူတို့ rampage နဲ့တော့တကယ်ကလေးတွေကိုနိုင်ကျင့်နေတယ်လို့
Securing themselves number 1 in the game.
Oh, this is going to be a spicy next game because Spirit they are like
this is aပွဲမပြတတ်ဘူးကွာဒီအတန်နေနဲ့
Gru as well had a lot of small but crazy plays in this game, starting from the Wisdom Shrine, setting up all the correct sleeps into the grips around the map. And if you're Parivision, I think you definitely did not get going the way you wanted, especially with this early draft, like the IO, the Largo, the Night Stalker, you didn't really get any plays going. Spirit masterclass.
Felt like it was a little all in on the early game for Parivision, and things didn't go picture perfect, that they were going to suffer the consequences, and they did just that. In the last second switch to Largo mid, Night Stalker offlane, talked about it. If Night Stalker doesn't have a good time, he is a completely useless hero in the mid to late game.
Yeah.
They have to be the ones that are setting the pace, but that was not the case here.
Definitely big credit to Spirit. If you're Pvision also, you need to step up like the gameplay. It has to go up. Like what Spirit did in these lanes, I think is not normal. Like 3 or 4 deaths on Satanic's Kez in the safe lane by like minute 10. Yatoro having a full free game. He has 1 death to his name. You picked offlane Knights. At least pressure this Morphling a bit or play with more relocates. They did not get those plays going.
No. A lot of Sunstrikes hit and collapse. Despite the scoreline. 4-2 doesn't look that impressive. This guy absolutely owned this game on the Tidehunter. That Roche play, which we'll get the highlight, I'm sure, coming up next.
Oh, this better be a highlight, bro.
It is just sickening how consistent